It's 2026, y'all.
This year better be good.
And Resonate with Tammy
I
and
am.
Delicious Intimacies are here for a spicy topic this afternoon.
Yes. Sometime last year, it was just like I just walked into the year like it's another year. But this year, I'm deliberate with what I want. I'm intentional, not just for life itself. It's for me. I don't want to, like a friend of mine said, I don't want to go to the grave full. I want to go empty. Can you relate with that?
Was that what inspired your haircut? Because she was on dress, and then I just got a message one day. Look, Delicious, plug me to someone. I someone that does very nice haircuts, and I'm like, you want to cut your dreads? And she said yes. And I said, okay, what's inspired
Okay, so
this decision?
I need to take you guys all back. I'm usually a careful person. Before I travel, like if I'm supposed to travel like next month, I start planning 3 weeks ahead, and I was like, must I live my life that way? But anyways, it started with the tattoo I have here, which I've been waiting to do for a long time. But the hair, each time I relock, it gives me headaches. And I'm like, am I doing this hair for people or myself? Tammy, I had to ask myself that question. That's why I called you up. I'm like, girl, hook me up the plug. I need to cut my hair. Now, I know it was a shock to everybody, including myself, but I'm enjoying this hair journey. And I'm like, you guys, kudos to you guys. How do you live with pouring water there? Like, it's like someone is singing opera to me. But like I said, this year is an intentional year for me. It's like, I know some people might think to themselves like, oh, I'm in my 40s. Yes, I'm picturing the ladies in 40s. You may think, oh, it's too late for me to start all over. It's too late for me to fall in love. It's too late for me to discover myself. Do you know? Thank God you're a therapist. I just recently fell in love with myself. It might sound weird. Does it sound weird to you?
No, it doesn't. It's the fact that you just recently fell in love with yourself.
Yes.
And I'm sure it's an emotion you've never experienced before. Look, the best thing that can happen to you is you being obsessed with yourself.
Before we get carried away, for those people that cannot see us, our names. My name is Resonate with Tammy, and I'm with
Delicious Intimacies, and a certified sex and intimacy coach.
If you see the way I brag about her, honestly, she has changed my life. Speaking about life, I was saying that I recently fell in love with myself. Before now, I didn't used to look at the mirror. Each time I just make up, I was like fast, sharp, and go. But recently, I'm like, is this you? Hello, Tammy. How are you doing? To those people that are struggling with this thing that I just expressed, as in finding yourself and finding your purpose, what would you say to them?
Well, I like the fact that you started with you just, fell in love with yourself all over again. You cannot expect someone to appreciate what you don't appreciate. You can't expect someone to find value in what you don't find value. If I pick up this phone and I just discard it, throw it in the dustbin, I don't expect you to, your first instinct to be, Delicious, is the phone bad? And all that. So the more you find value in the things that concern you, the easier it is for you to project that same feeling of value onto others. And it's very simple. So as women, it can be a little bit easier for us to actually fall in love with ourselves again, because we're used to touch, hugs, words of affirmation, words of love, words of encouragement, and all of that. But you can do those things to yourself. Wake up in the morning. I know you've said your prayers and all of that, but how many of you tell yourself, good morning? Good morning to me. Did you sleep well? You ask yourself. You respond, yes, I did. In fact, one of the best things you can do is actually stand in front of the mirror. We actually still call it mirror walk.
Yeah, I knew about that mirror walk.
Yeah, you just stand in front of the mirror and you pick out a couple of things that you physically love, not like, love about yourself. I love my eyes. I love the way it frames my face. I love my nose. I love the shape. I love my teeth. I love my ears. I love my hair. I love my body. And for women, you can even go more explicit by saying, I love my breast. I love the size. I love that they are this big or this small. They are this petite. I love my waist. I love my rope. All of those things that ordinarily would make you feel ashamed of yourself, you begin to find joy and love in all of them. And because, again, as women, we go through hormonal changes. And so you can go to bed with a silky smooth face and wake up the next morning
Oh my
with
goodness.
breakouts.
Yeah.
So you can imagine moving from yesterday where you stood in front of the mirror to say, oh girl, you're beautiful. See you spotless skin, fine girl. And then the next day you have blemishes. You still stand in front of the mirror and say, look, you're still beautiful. Yes, this is just hormones. I need to find out what went wrong in my self-care routine, or it's just that time of the month, whatever it is. And then you actively do self-care. Because once you learn how to appreciate yourself physically, the next thing you have to do is take care of the body. Take care of the eyes, the nose, the hair, the hips, the ass, the feet, whatever it is. When I started falling in love with myself, one of the things I decided to do, and I don't miss it for anything, is every 6 to 8 weeks, I take myself to the salon. I get my nails done and I fix my lashes. You see these two things. Come rain, come sun, I must do them for myself. As for my hair, I can go without doing my hair for 2 months, 3 months, depending on the hairstyle. I'm not too keen on so many other things, but these are the things that I actively do for myself. I take myself to the spa every now
Okay.
and then, just to have my body to be pampered.
Very important. I'd like to take you back. There's a course I studied in way back, operation research. It said for you to solve a problem, that means you have to know what the problem is, right? Now, that's the first step of curing or healing. It is said that men, fathers, play a significant role in a girl's child's life or love life in general. And it's true because I realize I don't want to go first now. Okay, what the heck? I have to go first now. I realize that anytime a father sets this standard for his girl child that look, you are loved, I love you, this is who you are, be bold. No man can complete you, or no man should complete you. You're on your own. As you tend to be, you're
More
happy,
confident,
more confident,
more
and you will
fulfilled.
start seeking for love. That's what I'm going for, seeking for love. When the ladies, I don't want to stereotype, but they say that ladies that seek for love or attention lack the role of a father played in it. I don't know if it is true
Not
or if I'm
100%
saying
true.
it's true, but they said that if you have a fatherly role, as your father is present, not an absentee father. And I don't mean you have to be married to be a father, not an absentee father. You tend to build that confidence, that love. I go like, girl, you don't need someone to make you feel good. You don't need someone to complete you to have. I don't know if I'm making
No,
sense to
yeah,
you.
you're making sense. But now this is it. It's not 100% true that every girl who seeks, every lady who in her adulthood seeks validation from men, it's because she did not get that from a father figure while growing up. It could be as a function of so many different things. Now, because these things are not set in stone, every female have their own experience with the male folk or the father figure in their lives. I've seen people who didn't get to meet their fathers, not because their fathers were absent by choice, but tragedy, death took the man away before she was born, or while she was still growing up, maybe 1 or 2 or 3 years old. But the mom made sure that um they never felt the absence, because that's the difference. He might not be physically present, but his absence should not also be felt
Okay.
to the extent that it becomes devastating. While growing up, we had a father who was not physically present due to the nature of his job, but he was present in every decision we took as children.
That means he was partially present. It wasn't his fault, but he was present.
So we knew to defer to our dad for certain things. We knew that if mom says no, there is no calling your father on the phone and he will say yes. The first question he would ask you is, did you have this discussion with your mom? What did she say? Of course, there were times we got away with, Daddy, you have to do it for us now. And he'd be like, okay, let me do it for you. But we also knew that the fact that he was not physically there didn't mean that mentally, emotionally, financially, he was not present. He was. Now, for some, they were fortunate that their fathers were physically present most of the time. I've seen people have amazing discussions with their dad that they didn't even get to have with their mom or even their peers. They feel more comfortable with their dad and all of that. That is different. They're fortunate, they're blessed. But does it mean the rest of us aren't? No, we also are blessed because the mothers that we have or that we had, for those whose moms have passed away, still did not allow the kids to feel the absence of the father figure. So it could be an uncle, it could be a cousin, it could be a nephew, but there was always someone that was standing in, so to speak,
Okay.
as a father figure.
Okay.
And also, mothers also have to learn to pass on the skill of self-appreciation and self-awareness to their daughters.
Yeah. True.
Because children from a dysfunctional home will function dysfunctionally. And they will become dysfunctional adults who also get into adult relationships with other people. And so the cycle of dysfunction continues. So if I grew up in a home where my mom showed me all of the right, like modeled what it was to be a woman the right way, I wouldn't be looking for self-appreciation in a man. I wouldn't be looking for validation. I would be able to live my life, understand that my happiness is mine. It's not dependent on whether I'm married, I'm single, I've had kids. It's not dependent on whether I have a job. It's not dependent on whether I can travel 4 or 5 times abroad. Like all of the things that society has put as achievements or milestones. My happiness is not dependent on any of those things. And so the fundamental question is, irrespective of whatever decision, whatever life path you choose to follow, are you happy? Are you fulfilled? And what is even your definition of happiness and fulfillment?
Yeah.
Because to some, it's, I can take a vacation 3 times a year. That means I'm fulfilled. To others, it's, each time I'm being called upon in the family to solve 1 or 2 challenges, I have never failed, to stand in and do all of those things. Or there's no decision that can be taken in my family without them deferring to me or, getting me involved. So what gives you happiness? What gives you fulfillment? It's not just about paying your personal bills or telling a man to recharge your phone
or house rent.
I
heard somewhere that someone said, what makes you calm? Yeah, this is another conversation. So what makes you calm? She said, money. Money makes me calm.
If you want to dissect that, we'll find out that it's not actually the money. It's the...
Anyways, let's change this subject.
The things that make people calm are different.
Yes, that's another. You see, I told you she's good. She's interesting.
Let's just leave.